Hello there! For our next trekker walk, we'll be heading back up to Flotterston and back into Pentland Regional Park for a walk that will take us up towards Bonaly Reservoir, across and then back down via Castlelaw. It's a 6.8 mile trek and we'll be leaving at 10 AM in the morning, meeting at the car park. So let's go and have a look around on this very misty morning. Might not be able to see anything. Now, last time I did this walk, which was in March I think, it was bucketing down. I should have brought a canoe. So what I did was, I just headed up to Castlelaw this way, just to get there quicker. So we'll come back down that way, but today we'll go the full distance, 6.8 miles. Still a bit misty down here anyway. See if it improves as we go up higher and it gets a bit later in the day. At over 10,000 hectares of countryside and with 100 kilometres of walking paths, Pentland Regional Park is a great place to come walking, cycling, horse riding or orienteering. We are currently heading up the Maiden's Cleugh. Now a cleugh is a steep, often rocky sided gorge or ravine. The Maiden's Cleugh isn't that steep, it's more of a gradual rise. It is more rocky in places than others. It's a dry morning, so the path's pretty dry, but on wet days it can be pretty muddy. So yeah, wear the proper shoes for coming out in the Pentlands. But there's still not much to see. There should be hills over there. I can hear sheep in the mist, but I can't see any. There are a couple of trees up there, which from a distance, from back there, looked like a big bull. Now it's 25 past 8 and the morning just now. It's misty, but there's no wind, and it's actually quite mild. So I've had to ditch the top because it was getting a bit hot. It's getting a wee bit thicker, the mist up here. Maybe we'll get above it as we get a wee bit higher. Let us see. Harbour Hill. You can't see it, but it's there. We won't be going to the summit of Harbour Hill, but we'll pass round the side of it. And from the side of it, you can usually see Edinburgh, the River Forth, and Fife way off in the distance. Today, you will see Hee Haw by the looks of it, because it's getting a bit thicker. And I just passed the chap down there, coming down on a bike, who had a bit of a crash, just because he couldn't see where he was going. He'd lost his bearings. So there you can see Edinburgh down to Leith Docks, and then the River Forth, and then sort of Burnt Island across there in Fife. What a great view. Onward! We'll be heading past Bonaly Reservoir here. Let's nip in and have a wee look at it in the mist. Watch that gate, it's pretty heavy. There you go, Bonaly Reservoir, it's there. Out there somewhere. I'll just wait here till this Excalibur appears. Right, let's get back on the track. As I've mentioned before when we've been here up in the Pentlands have historically been a source of inspiration to some of Scotland's most celebrated artists, poets and authors. Alan Ramsay based the Gentle Shepherd at Habby's How near Carlops. And Robert Ferguson was perhaps thinking of the Pentlands in his wintry poem The Daft Days. And Sir Walter Scott took inspiration from Carnethy Hill, which I could show you once we get up here, but you'll never be able to see it. And when he wrote, I think I never saw anything more beautiful than the ridge of Carnethy against a clear frosty sky. With its peaks and varied slopes, the hills glowed like purple amethyst. The sky glowed topaz and vermilion colours. I never saw a finer screen than Pentland, considering that it is neither rocky or elevated. And of course Robert Louis Stevenson, when he resided at his summer house at Swanston, which is sort of over that way, used the Pentland Hills in numerous poems at the beginning and end of his literary life. you're coming along on a trek or walk, please wear appropriate footwear for several underfoot conditions. There's tarmac, roads, muddy paths, rocky paths, loose gravel, off-camber paths and uneven paths, like the one I'm on now. Also have appropriate clothing for the weather, just in case it gets slightly wet or misty. And bring along a bottle of water to drink on the way. It's 6.8 miles. It might be a warm day, so you might drink lots of water. It might be like this, hopefully not. And while it's misty and a wee bit damp, it's not too bad. But we shall carry on and see where this path takes us. I could end up in Glasgow at this rate. I might as well waffle on since we can't actually can't see much. What about the wildlife here on the Pentlands? Despite the regional park's close proximity to Edinburgh, over there, wildlife can be found all over the park. Pentland Hills Regional Park species list is a list of all the wildlife plants in the park, and they undertake regular biodiversity surveys of the flora and fauna. These surveys are part of the local biodiversity action plans of the 3 local authorities, Edinburgh, Mid Lothian and West Lothian. And there are many types of species, like the fungus. There's the meadow coral, the bog beacon, the scruffy deceiver. There's lichen, such as Lycidia plana, Cladonia ramulosa, I think that's what it's called anyway. There's liverwort. You'll find mountain notchwort, 2-horned pincer wort, horsetail, such as water horsetail and wood horsetail. There's fern, like juniper and Scots pine. And there's flowering plants, a huge list of flowering plants, including the yellow rattle and the marsh violet. And there's also all the other wildlife as well: dragonflies, butterflies, flies, true flies, amphibians, birds and mammals. So there's a lot to see if you look closely enough, and you're quiet enough probably. Unlike me stomping down here all on my own. Seen 2 people today, both on bikes. One had a crash because of the mist. Couldn't see where he was. But that's been it. My companions for the rest of this trip has been sheep. Let's have another look at the fantastic view over to Edinburgh. Look at that. So hopefully on the day, we've tried the Pentlands a few times and the weather's beaten us. Hopefully on the day it won't be misty. The walk starts at 10 o'clock. It's 10 past 10 now. Still pretty misty, but the wind has been blowing it a lot. So it should clear up soon, hopefully. And remember, our trekker walks are a wee bit tougher than our health walks. Just a wee bit. So it's longer, there's more hills involved, or inclines, they're not big hills, and the paths can be a bit more tricky. So if you're up for it, come along. Now remember folks, walking is a great way to exercise. It's free. You don't really need much. You maybe need some shoes, some walking shoes. 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. That's your weekly allowance as an adult for moderate physical activity. But even 10 minutes, even 5 minutes to start off with is a start. So make a start. You might not do 30 minutes straight away. You might only go out and walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but you've started. And once you've started, you can make it a habit. And once you make it a habit, it becomes really easy. And you don't really even think about it. You just go and do it. So, get those walking shoes on, or your trainers, and get out walking. If you want to walk with a group, we have lots of health walk groups here in Midlothian. Just go onto the website www.midlothian.gov.uk, pop in health walks, and the information will be there. Or you can email us, wellbeing@midlothian.gov.uk, and we'll get back in touch with you. Speak to you soon, hopefully. Sheep, I can see the sheep. We're getting there. One thing I can't see, which is a bit dodgy, is the lights for the firing range. No chance of seeing the flags, but I don't think there's any chance of seeing the lights either in this mist. There was nothing on the website when I looked this morning to say that it was in operation, but I'll just have to keep my eyes peeled. It's getting thicker again, this mist. So as I mentioned earlier, there is a Ministry of Defence firing range just over there. To find out if it's in operation on the day you're having a walk up these here paths, go to www.gov.uk/government/Scotland-firing-times, and it will tell you, although it's usually a month behind. I tell you what though, the wind is a lot colder over this side of the hills. To put the top back on, getting a lot more breezy and cool. Bit of a squeeze getting in there. It's always interesting in these old places to think you're touching a stone here that was placed there centuries ago by somebody, and it's still there. Right, let's squeeze back. Castlelaw Fort was home to an Iron Age community for several centuries. The stronghold consists of 3 concentric rings of ramparts and ditches surrounding a low footfall. The earth house, here and now, that was built into the middle ditch, is the Fort's main point of interest. Various theories have been put forward regarding its use. It could have been used as a ritual site, a hiding place, or a fort. Or even a storage space. maintained by Historic Scotland as a scheduled monument. Access to the site is free, but it is alive. Active sheep, pasture, so dogs should be kept under control if you're heading up this way. And just over to that side of it is the firing range, which on a clear day you could see. Obviously not today. So come and join us Wednesday the 29th of May, 10 AM down at Flotterston Car Park. 6.8 mile walk. It'll be good fun. It'll be good exercise. And hopefully it'll be good views. Even though it's not great today, it's still nice to be out in nature. Stuart will be leading the walk, and we'll see you there.